Can I get a drum roll, please? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. And it is time for Corpse_12. I am being paired up with none other than Graph the Giraffe for winners semis, I believe.
Oh, it absolutely is. And what a series this is gonna be. You and I were talking to the teams right before this one started up. We have, of course, above all going up against the number 2 seed, Apollo Esports. And this is the winners semi. So don't worry if one of these teams goes down, they still have a chance to make a losers bracket run. But it looks like we're already going to be kind of loading on into this map here relatively quick. But either way, I kind of want to talk about the road that these two teams have had, kind of getting their way to the winners semis. And Apollo, of course, being the number 2 seed, they faced a lot of the lower seeds. I know coming in, it was something like the 38th, everything like that. But looking at above all, the number 27 seed, they have gone against MGM, the number 6. They win it in a 3-2. They take down Noisy Esports in a 3-1. And then they, of course, beat Etupsid, which is the 14th seed, in a 3-2. So this team knows how to extend series. And when they do, they're able to close them out.
Yeah, and I'm excited for this because again, we talk about seeding Apollo's number 2 above all 27. I think that we're third in their group in the pool play division. They are the dogfight team. They are the slum it out, grum it out type of guys, and they'll get in your face nice and dirty. The hard point is the hard part is, Graph. If you look at the map pools, we aren't gonna look at it because we're in the game right now. But the maps today are a little bit more open spaced. There's not like the skyline. There's not the rewind. These are just like straight up strategy maps.
Yeah, it really focuses on the fundamentals. It allows kind of a little bit more of an AR heavy presence. So maybe you're feeling a tad bit more confident when, hey, you know their submachine guns are that great. So let's give ourselves advantage and kind of put them into these long range gunfights and just use that utilization and be able to kind of play these windows back in and out of gunfights easily and not allow these close quarter engagements. And so far, it's above all. They are coming in here swinging. They got 30 seconds on that P1, so great job for them as it's Blissey, just Maru for short, French, and Mystics going up against the Apollo. We got Verb, Snapper Season, Hyper, and Drafts, and Apollo Esports. This is just a roster that is built to slay out.
Oh yeah, Apollo. I was talking to them pregame. I was like, "You got any words for tonight?" They're like, "Haha, good luck, idiots." They're like, "Get slammed, get prepared." And honestly, that's the ego that this team has brought, and kind of fun. They've like kind of instilled it into their system. I believe, history-wise, Hyper and Snapper, they're a duo that go way back to last year and previous CODs as well. They found Verb. He's the latest addition to this team, but me and we were talking to Trig before this. That man slayed out a couple CODs ago. He is a little bit on the older side, so the knowledge is going to be there. But nonetheless, egos are there. You're going to see a lot of chows, high engagement encounters. They just can't lose them though. On a map like Protocol, you start losing your gunfights one by one. It's slowly going to add up, and then obviously we're going to see a lead change, which is about to happen on this P3 hill. And so far, I believe I am a little lost right now. I haven't been looking at this. Oh yeah, Apollo. They now take a lead change with those couple kills. But hey, look at this. It's still scrummy on a money hill, I like to call, on this Protocol hardpoint.
I love what you said there. Along with Apollo, they just kind of coming on in. The confidence is there. They've 3-0'd, and then a forfeit. So they've had a kind of a walk in the park when it comes to this playoff bracket. So if you're above all, I think you need to kind of win this map one, set the tone for yourself, and just kind of make them lose that confidence because they haven't really had anybody challenge them in the groups. They haven't really had any challenges when it comes to the teams in the playoffs. So I think you need to come out here, win this map one, and say, hey, you know what? We're going to at least get an extended series here, and God forbid it goes to a map 5. I think above all, take it.
I do think so as well. Again, because these are the underdogs. They love a good fight. They are well rooted. They're calm, cool, and collected. I was talking to them before the game. They didn't want to say any bad. They were just like, "Hey, good luck to the other team tonight." And obviously, they're on the inside. They're like, "Hey, we're looking to take this no matter what." But I'm also looking at Mystic and Blissey. Those are the 2 subs for this above all team, and I think they're really gonna have to do a lot of the dirty work on these hills, especially this P4 where these subs shine. Yeah, and I think Mystic got a 2-piece to break this hill. Blissey trying to stay alive as long as possible. But I think they're gonna have to feed off of their energy, and then obviously you got background characters like French and Maru. Those are the AR/flex players. They are kind of the glue, the fixer-uppers. They come and go, plug all the holes that need to be plugged.
Yeah, and they just gotta I think they need to have a pop-off game here. You can't just be the player that plugs all the holes. You need to be going above and beyond and maybe kind of be the wind in the sails per se and really get that momentum started in your favor. And right there, it was an easy break for Apollo on that P4. They take the lead, but still only a few seconds of difference between these two teams. And this is what you want to see. You want to see a close engagements here and allow yourself to keep the game within manageable numbers. Don't allow this other team to get a 60 and just be able to walk all over. It's all about map control, and so far it seems like above all they know exactly what they want to do on this P1. I mean, they have been dominating it so far.
Yeah.
They're reading the spawns, and now you get a triple. Look, they are already on a 9 kill spree until finally somebody does get shut down. It was the player on the hill, but you do enough just to get yourself back into the lead. And guess what? They're keeping it scrappy against Apollo, but this time they're going to be set up here for the P2 once again.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I think above all, S&D is their I want to go back to what you said. S&D is their best game mode. So setting the tone early in map 1, trying to steal it and get to that map 2 where it's your wheelhouse. Try and get in a 2-0 series lead count. That's going to be huge. Now, if you're Apollo, this is a little bit shocking to me, because this is a team where, again, they have the ego. They kind of play with the pace. They set the tone in their respawn game modes. So to see them, on a map, which is, I think, a little bit more fundamental, you got to rotate a little bit more. You got to, prioritize your holds. Just seeing this game be this close, 20 points has been the biggest lead I think we've seen. So it's going to be a nail biter, but Apollo right now coming away with a 30-point lead. This is going to be huge if the scrap time goes their way, because look at number 6 in the back of the spawn, Verb, setting up for P3, setting the trap, and there he is, makes his presence known. This is going to be huge. Number 3 is the last one alive, because now all these blue arrows are spawning out from the side of above. This is a make or break hill for the side of the blue arrows.
I love what Verb did right there, but I don't think he really needed to challenge French in that moment. Oh my God, French! Man, he just got turned into the toast right there because he got slid on and it was an easy gunfight. Apollo, when you thought you might have had a snake in the grass, they cut off the head and they just bust their way right on in to this hill, the P3. It is theirs. They do happen to lose the spawns, but they already are reading where these players are going in through. Maybe a little bit of an overzealous Chow, but guess what? Hyper is there on the cleanup along with Drafts, and they are starting to run away with it. And this is what we're talking about, is you cannot allow these hills to start to go in favor of Apollo. But Verb, look at what he has been doing on this map. He has been rotating so successfully, but he does lose that initial gunfight. Snapper Season is there, and Maru not able to come out with the second. But this is it. These are the gunfights that are going to determine maybe the outcome of this game.
Yeah, and I think above all, they did just enough to, get some scrap time to still keep this a little bit more manageable. Again, you don't want to get away with a full 60. You don't want to get down to that. But hey, French able to find a nice one right there when I don't think he was supposed to win it. 2 players are here from the side of Apollo. Look at this. They are feeding off of each other. Energy is there. Trade system is just a tad bit better. And Drafts, you talk about sailing or wind in the sails, whatever. He is feeling it, applying that wind. Because right now, I believe Apollo has awakened in the second half of this hard point.
That play by Drafts was incredible. Just staying alive so long and just causing every single player to have to win their ones. And he just stayed alive that extra few seconds. And then he allowed his teammates to come on in because he knew that's all he had to do was win one gunfight. And this is where it starts to get ugly. But where have you dominated this game so far? It's been the P1s. So above all, this is a chance to potentially get yourself, I don't think a full 60, maybe get 30, maybe get 40, but you have to win the rotations here on the P2. You haven't been able to do so the past 2 times, so you need to be able to fix that, and I like this position by Mystics. He's going to play the billiards, play behind this. You're not going to expect the player to be right there, and now at 20 seconds, again, they just are dominating the middle of the map. I'm not sure what it is about this, but look at number 8. Hyper might have just slipped through. This could be problems. This could be issues, but the trade is beautiful to Maru, and now you're going to find yourself right back into the hill, so a great way to deal with it.
I mean, Hyperdome somehow stays alive. But you talk about staying on the hill. Hyper wins a big one. Drafts comes to his aid. 20 seconds. It's going to be crucial because I think you need to chow the rest of this time to at least keep it a little bit more manageable. Because when you get in these late scenarios, when the late game scenarios, when it starts to become like 240 to 160, you're going to have to play a little bit more perfect. You're going to have to not allow so much contest time, crunch time. And honestly, me and you both know when it gets into the later stage, when you have such a big lead, it leaves so many doors for that leading team. They can hit hill late, they can just rotate
Mhm.
early, kind of cause some mind games for the side of above. But look at this. They're here on this P2 early. Number 68 somehow spawns in the backside. This is huge. The break is in. Snapper collapses, and what was a good setup turns into catastrophe for the side of the above all.
Yeah, and it looked like they had a moment, but again, like you said, when you have this type of lead, you're able to take those deep routes. He hit him on the flank, and honestly, this is where your comms are going to come in to effect is, hey, we haven't seen this player for a long time, and that was Hyper. I mean, he was alive for at least 30 seconds. He hadn't gone up on the kill feed. Somebody's got to be calling that out and say, hey, there's got to be a flank being hit. Nobody was able to call it out. Even though he only got one, he disrupted the setup enough to allow his teammates to push the front. And guess what? The map one, it comes to a close. And is it a surprise? Absolutely not. They've been doing this time and time again as Apollo Esports. They take the map one, 250, 174.
Yeah, not shocking at all. But again, S&D, that's the make or break for these two teams because they're like polar opposites. Respawn seems to go the way of Apollo. S&D, slower game modes, seems to go the way of above. At least that's how they talk and how they kind of that's the vibe from these teams. S&D on the side of Apollo has been very improved upon since last year. They've said so themselves. They put a lot of work into it. So map two, make or break for them. If you lose it, it's going to be a deal breaker for the side of motivation. You're going to be down in the dumps. You're heading into control, which obviously is the weaker game mode because it just got implemented. I know it's been like 3 weeks now, but still, like, not a lot of teams have reps on it. Like, you're looking at Hacienda, man. There's only 3 maps that you can play for that. But you again, map two's the pivotal point because you got to capitalize it on a team where Apollo they struggle on it. That's where my eyes are. I know this above all team. They are hungry, they are locked, and they are excited to play. So it's going to be interesting to see how I think red card it is gets played out.
Yeah, and Red Card, this is a map that got a lot of hate at the beginning of the season, right? Everybody's like, oh, Red Card is the worst map, and everybody wants it out. But guess what? I called it from the start. I was like, you know what? Red Card feels like a more traditional map because it punishes you. Not
Yeah,
necessarily on Search and Destroy, but in the respawns. I think in Search, it allows so many different avenues of approach and just different strategies. I think that's the great thing about Search and Destroy. I don't think the maps are great. I think they are okay to good. But Red Card, I think, is kind of a cut above the rest. And like you said, for the side of Apollo, Search and Destroy hasn't necessarily been their strong suit. It's still been a good part of their game, and they've been getting these 3-0, so it's very clear they have certain maps they like to play. But if that's the case, maybe the other team has done a tad bit of VOD review and said, hey, we want to veto this map. We don't want to give them their strong one, and let's play them on ours because typically those higher end teams, they're not really looking at the teams that are, the number 27 seed. They're not like, oh, like these guys are going to have an incredible map pool. No, they're going to try to play their game. And I think Apollo, or excuse me, above all, has had some maybe prep work during this kind of week break to maybe give themselves an edge here in the search.
for sure. I did like how you said, again, they are above all the 27 seed. Apollo may not have them on their radar. It's got to be on their radar now, especially since they're
Mhm.
facing them and the matches that they've played. MGM I think was a 3-2. I think Ed how do you say that? Oh, Noisy was a 3-1, and then E2 Sid is
Mhm.
3-2. So they've had some close wins, honestly, some grind out wins. And again, I think it's because they've relied on their S&D game mode. And obviously, map two, map three, they've had to win those to force that map five, which is their bread and butter. And that's why they've come out on top. But again, this team has a lot of resilience in them. They're not here. They're not going to go away at the blow of a wish or something like that. But It's gonna be fun to see how red card plays out because, like you said, a punishing map it is. But it's also one where teams hit sites together. You don't
Mhm.
see a lot of solo plays. You don't see a lot of like, hey, one person, we're all gonna run our different routes. Like Skyline, look at Skyline. You always got somebody running vents. You always got somebody trying to play piano, and then maybe a two-man hit through kitchen. But it's just like red card is everybody goes B, everybody goes A. We're going to try and feed off of our first bloods and then work the map to our advantage. So I also like red card on an S&D. It's grown on me as well as a player from my pleb rank games that I play. But yeah, I'm excited as I think we're waiting on one more player. Um, he is taking a potty break. So, Graf, I think we go to a short break here.
Well, I kind of want to go. I want to kind of go into the maps a little bit
Oh,
longer. We
yeah,
talked,
yeah,
we
yeah. Let's
talked
go
about the
vault.
red
Let's go
card.
vault.
We talked about the red card, but we got the vault, which is clearly the fan favorite across the board. And yeah, Hacienda was thrown into the rotation. Protocol is an absolute. It feels like everybody says Hacienda is a lot worse because you just simply can't get a point in the middle of the map because there's so many windows, there's so many angles you can get shot from. You simply can't cover it all without having somebody watching each lane and only one guy into the point, and sometimes that's just not going to be the way to come out with the W. You're really going to be playing on lives and protocol. We've seen professional teams get put in the absolute blender, so that one is typically vetoed in the amateur scene. It's kind of put in a little bit more because a lot of the times they're a lot closer series and you don't necessarily have that teamwork or consistent slay power to completely get them into blenders all the time. So you're going to take your chance on Vault and then Hacienda. Of course, it's not necessarily the best map that we could get from Black Ops 4, but again, it's one that focuses on those rotations we talked about. These are a lot of long-range gunfights. Yes, there are close quarter situations. You're relying on your ARs, and guess what? It was Verb. He was finding those routes. He did it time and time again, along with Hyper sneaking in to the back and killing a lot of these players from above. Also, right now, you are desperate for this search and destroy win.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up Snapper because he is the one that brings the feminine side to that team, but he's also got the gunny. He's the one where he's going to be slaying out. And I think on the side of above all, Maru and I think French were the two ARs in the first hard point. I can't remember exactly how good well, do you remember what their stats were?
No, I didn't happen to have their stats, but
Okay.
all I know is that Blissey and Mystic, those are the two guys you're going to be looking at to make
Yeah.
plays for the search and destroy. And Mystic, being a mailman, he wants to be the player to give them a one-stop shop to the winners finals and kick them down to the losers bracket in the sense of Apollo. So you're looking at him to kind of step up and deliver a lot of these kills and potentially kind of be that guy who is annoying. It's not necessarily just finding that kill and sprinting. Find the kill and reposition or just stay put because it forces that other team to have to look for you or somebody has to hold the flank and that just allows you to overwhelm with numbers from the front. So I'm really looking at Mystic to be that guy. And then if we end up going to a map 5 protocol, this is one I have a feeling would be a grueler. It's going to go to a round 10 or round 11, but you don't want that if you are Apollo because maybe that kind of dwindles your confidence a bit. We talked about they came in, they've been 3-0ing everybody. I think they had a total of what, 3, maybe 4 map losses in the entire regular season in season 1.
Mhm.
So they are not used to getting a lot of these losses. So I think you at least need to hand them one in the search and destroy.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you, but I also want to pick up on protocol, S&D. I will time and time say this with my heart. I will die on this hill. It is a matter of it's very similar to Skyline. You look at that A site, it's bottom P4. It is bang bang bang. Whatever team's going to be able to trade better, whatever team is going to come away with that first blood. The S&D, the SMGs are going to go huge in that map. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here on map 2. All eyes are here. This is the next tone setter for how these two teams will play this series. And Graph, it is very, I think, what is this? Apollo being very aggressive through the middle of the map. Mystics, though, somehow stays alive. It doesn't matter. First blood goes the way of Apollo.
Yeah, right back to it though. You have, of course, Maru. He is a commercial HVAC installer, so you know he's got to be laying down the pipe in the middle
Oh,
of this map. But it's going to be Snapper. He comes in and he completely disrupts everything in that moment. And now you're going to start to stick together. You group up and you do kind of take a split. But look at number 7, Snapper. He's in such a phenomenal spot to catch this player. Yeah, you're
oh.
not going to expect that off angle. And guess what? You had every single lane covered. And once again, it's Apollo. They just pick up right where they left off after that map 1.
Right, and it's huge because maybe map one didn't go the way you expected if you're the side of above all, that it left you so disheartened or, it left the bad mode there. You just gotta shake things off here and there. I think mid game adjustments are always huge in S&D. Whatever team can adapt or kind of change, that's also a big factor in the side of map two. And you look at map five because we've casted before. I think it was Unreal, right? They played a team and they just came out differently after a reset happened. They just changed the look completely. They ended up taking that map, which was huge. So I do want to see, the knowledge. I do want to see the big brain plays come out in this. And look at this. Above all, only have one person at B. He's about to get overwhelmed. He does take one down with him. Good job out of the French boy himself, speaking a different language to get one.
Right now, Blissey, he knows the player's got to be in that corner, and they're just
Mhm.
going to fly on in. And oh my god, he actually
Okay.
doesn't come away, but he gets the trade. And oh, I thought
Oh.
Blissey for a moment might have had that gunfight. And now it's up to Maru, the AR. And when you are going to be going up against 2 submachine guns, it's going to be that much more difficult than I think he might have just fired. So they have that information of where he is trying to push from. And this is going to be one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult bomb site to retake and find
Oh, yeah.
2 kills on yourself. So right now, I think above all, they're kind of sitting in a very difficult spot. And Maru really not taking any map space. He's not clearing anything out. So he's got to move quick and already just simply a little bit too slow. And right there, it was all too easy for the side of Apollo.
Well, yes, and what was huge, Graph, is I think it was the number 8 arrow. I think it was Hyper himself. Literally started running towards P5 right into the gun of Maru. Maru, that's how they found out he was on the flank. Maru had the shots, had the timing, could have made it a 1v1, could have made it a little bit more manageable. Just isn't able to find that kill. And somehow, some way, you're just like you're too scared to push it because, like you said, it is the most difficult site to retake. It is most dense. The subs can get in there. I think he may have took a little bit too long on the flank. That's why when Blissey went down, he's all alone. He's like, oh, oh sugar. So it's gonna be hard. But look at this, a 3-man hit through ticket. I don't think I've ever seen this. Drafts able to find first blood. Some strategies from the side of Apollo, nice and early in map 2.
And Morrow, oh my goodness, he finds that kill and he slides into cover for a moment. It's just a matter of anybody going to be able to watch over him in drafts. Happens to
Yeah.
back up. He realizes he has no support either. But number 8, Hyper, can he come
Okay.
away with anything? And no, he won't. And so it's going to really be up to drafts to maybe hold on to this B bomb site. Nobody's pushing up through the middle, and they're really taking their time here. They're maybe trying to catch him out. And I
Oh.
love this. The patience from above all. They were showing pressure towards B. They kind of stop, and maybe we're trying to catch that player on the flank. They absolutely do. But drafts 3-0, and oh my goodness,
Oh
this is
my.
one of those moments. Go big or go home.
Ah.
Unfortunately, he gets sent home packing, and that is a good attacking round for the side of above.
Yeah, and a big confidence booster because I, it's hard for me to say this because I've seen it go both ways. Red card can either be very offensive, very defensive. I like to think red card is more defensive, especially if you start out strong. But bounce back win on offense. It's very good to always win those attacking rounds because there's always the pressure of attacking. It's like, oh, we gotta plant, we gotta defend for another 45 seconds. So it's very pressure heavy for the other for the attacking team to even get something going. And I think that's why a lot of mistakes are made. But hey, you make it a little bit more manageable. 1-2. Again, Drafts has been very aggressive this whole map, at least for the first 3 rounds. He is flying, trying to find the timings, and that is something about this player. I was speaking to Hyper beforehand. Drafts somehow wins one. Oh, hold on. We're going to get into this round because trades come through. It's now in a 1v3 situation. Again, I think it's Maru on the flank. Replicated round. Somehow doesn't win that gunfight. But hey, look at this. Fresh 45 to work with.
Yeah, and I thought Mauro was actually going to make the play if one of his teammates came away with that kill, gets it into a 1v1, but the bomb is down, and he's just got to be quicker in here. He's just got to take space, and like you said, it was Drafts who was always just getting up close and personal, but this time the angles have been changed. He tries to get aggressive. And once again, Apollo, look how decisive their play call is on the attack. They just completely hit that, and then they allowed a player on the flank to kind of watch over. Eventually, he did get taken down, but they were just relying on their submachine guns to come in, find those opening engagements, and get out with their life, or at least an effective trade. And so far, that's just giving them the edge here in the search.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that before the round got a little hectic. That's what they kind of like to do. You know, speaking to Hyper, he said Drafts does something really well. He's the crackness, the energy. He's that entry sub where he just tries. He tries to find every little timing, no matter how tiny it is. He is gonna thread that needle through a haystack, and it's just gonna be huge because been very aggressive. He's kind of disrupted the flow of above all in this map too early.
And immediately they decide to back up, but you get the 2 first bloods here. You do get a technical trade if you're Apollo, and now you lose one more player. And it was really all about Hyper getting ripped off that heady. I believe it was from Blissey early on, and now in a 1v3, Snapper 7-2. This is the type of stat line you love to see, but guess what? The heads-up play call, they immediately go towards this B site in a 1v3, and funny enough, I know we were kind of joking about our rate play. I wish I got on stream. I ended up getting a 1v4 on this map, so it is doable, but I'm not sure against this type of caliber of players.
Nah, especially with French playing this off angle here, this is going to be fun to see him just poke out. Somehow checks it, though. Hey, Snapper, like the turtle himself, comes out from the ocean. Watch your toes, my friend. You are in the English territory.
Snapper looking for one more. Can he find it? No. Blissey, the jump shot's too clean as he goes airborne, and he lands softly with his Nike Pros, but gets it back again to 2-3, and this has kind of been the name of the game. You haven't really had a lead besides maybe early on in that hardpoint map 1. You just need to find that energy and get yourself back into this series. Take a lead, put the pressure back onto Above All, and see if they, or excuse me, back to Apollo, and see if they decide to crack under that pressure, because each round, of course, the farther you go, it just keeps becoming more immense. And that's what you need to see if these teams have what it takes, because this is winner's semifinals. Like, you are fighting for a $2,500 prize pool. Every single kill, every single round counts.
Yeah, and I think they're just going to have to adjust to how Drafts is playing. But look, every single attacking round, I think Apollo has gotten the first blood. That's been huge on how they've attacked these maps. Above All, hasn't done well in trading them. And when they do, they still come out on the losing side to where it's a 1v3 situation. Quick call on the quick call to transition to this A site. They're going to go ahead and rotate it. I think Above All knows this, though. We see number 2. He's lurking through ticket. He does get spotted. Now, they are split, though, so this is going to be huge. They're going to have to work some magic. You're going to have to win a gunfight, reposition like we talk about. Look at this. Maru wins 1. Does get away, though. And now, obviously, on the flank, good job out of the side of Apollo, just sitting so deep into the spawn. They were basically waiting for that player.
Yeah, I love what Snapper did right there. He saw the player, he knew he didn't need to challenge, but he just kept backing up, and that just delays time. That's all he did. He doesn't even care if he goes down in that moment, but even if he gets a few shots off, he just made that player have to go and hunt him down that much longer, even though it was a 2v4 situation. Still, just making the big plays and the smart plays. So you like to see that from Apollo, being disciplined and not just kind of going rogue and taking that ego chow when you think you can find it. But like you said, Apollo, they've been dominating the first bloods in the attack. But above all, they have found some first bloods of their own here, and it looks like they're trying to pull off a Dan Campbell offense and pull something deep out of the playbook.
Yeah, well, they're going to need it, bro. I mean, right now, this is a fast flank out of the side of number 7. He's hitting it a lot quicker than what he usually does. And right now, above all, they have just slowed down. They usually they've worked a little bit quicker the previous rounds. Look at number 7, though. I want to go to number 7. He's hit this so fast. He can make a big play. He's in behind, though. He has a sub. Makes 1. Unfortunately, gets traded. This is huge out of the side of above all, though. It's only a 2v2. French cannot go down. He wins a big gunfight. And again, they are prevailing on their offensive rounds.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, and Mystic, he's just trying to take this gunfight. He's allowing finally Fresh to come in. That was a little scary moment, but look, they isolated the player and they end up getting the kill. That was great coverage from French, by the way, because I thought his teammate was dead to rights. Even if he does find the kill, I thought the trade would have been there from Apollo, maybe just a second late, and maybe thought he could rip that player off first, but he decided to go for the player that was deep and not the player that was close and weak. And we're talking about discipline, and that's maybe one of those moments where there's a lapse in judgment. Hey, just play for that trade, duck in, duck out. But the swing round, a big chance for above all to potentially get it back up to tied. Still, they've just been playing on their heels the entire time. You need to somehow switch it up on defense and just keep the side of Apollo guessing. But that's what Apollo's doing. They're just hitting straight A.
Yeah, and I love this because they've been hitting B or through the middle of the map a crap ton. Maru is the first line of defense, and guess what? Gets picked off from range by the knowledge old man himself, Verb. French is the next man up. Can he be the phenom? He's just going to play his life. I like this. But again, Apollo just do everything right in their post-plant situations. Look at this. They get the bomb down. They get out of town. I do believe they are playing for the wallbang, though. I think you can wallbang it, but why they planted this through P4. It's going to be interesting to see if that comes in because Blissey has hopped a bomb. Verb knows he's here, though. It's all about information game. These two players are here with 20 seconds left. It's going to be close. Snapper finding one trade there from Maru, who has been exceptional in the late game. Blissey, or I meant French, trying to find something. And with 11 seconds left, this is looking... Oh, my... Blissey isn't going to be able to get that because of time. But he does die nonetheless.
I'm gonna laugh if you call Verb the old man. He's like 21, 22 years old. I'm gonna be dying if you're like, oh, the old man. He's been in the scene for 2 or 3 years, but he's only 21, coming up with big plays. Hey, but either way, we'd love to see what he is getting done on the map, finding the first bloods, and then again the post-plant situations. We don't talk about this enough. Sometimes some of these teams they get a little antsy. They understand a bomb site is already taken over from the attacking team, and then somebody just tries to peek out, maybe try to make a play, and you get yourself in a disadvantage into that 3v4 for the rest of your team. So sometimes just play for that retake situation. Maru, unfortunately, being that island player, does get picked off, and that makes it that much more difficult. But Verb, the trades are there. Get it back to even.
Yeah, and again, look at Drafts. Has just got so aggressive. They finally get him off, but again, a trade comes through. By the way, Verb, I'm only calling him old because his teammates called him old. Not my decision. I'm just going off of what they said. Good kill by the side of Blissey on the flank, though. And again, look at this. They win a nice one on the rotation. This is going to free up this bomb plant nice and early. They're gonna have to find out where Hyper is, though. If he takes too long, it's gonna be a gimme that he's on the flank. I think they know he's already here because these arrows are prepped and waiting. And now with a fresh 45 to work with, what can the energetic man find himself? It's gonna be Graph. He's gonna have to go big.
Yeah, he definitely began his conditioning in because he ran all the way across the map, but already he gets spotted, and that's Blissey. You don't need to do anything fancy here. Yeah, just throw shoulders. Yeah, tag him up a few bullets, and he's going to get onto the bomb site. You know that's the case, but again, you just don't need to challenge it because you have complete sight of it. Yeah, Apollo, Mystics, and now they could line up in this moment, but yep, they realize he's going to try to make a play, and the slide comes through. It's a 5-4. Again, you're still down. You just need to find something special here. You need some way to find a play.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to take a page out of your book. I think just everybody go to one bomb site. If they're not there, play for the retake. You stick as a unit. I know that's going to leave a lot of the map open, and with how Drafts has played, he's played very aggressive. He's taken a lot of space. But I think just being a unit, be one. You know, all four stick together. I think that's a play call you may have to go with because right now, again, we saw it last round. Maru got, peaked himself a little bit, over aggressive, and then he gets picked off. They're in a 3v4 situation. It's just hard for them to find something. But look at this. A first blood on the first, on one of their defensive rounds. They've hardly had first bloods here, Graph. Blissey going huge. Basically stopped Apollo in their tracks. What was interesting, though, Drafts did not get aggressive as he was in the first few rounds.
And this is where you just kind of slow the pace. You have the numbers. Don't be over-challenging Blissey. Hopefully he doesn't get picked in this moment. And this is where you don't need to get aggressive on the map because you have every single angle, position covered. You have the kind of the line of defense, and that somebody who's going to be able to break through that barbed wire fence that the side of Above All has put up. Apollo maybe starting to go towards this B site. They know how critical it is, but Mystics, oh, he does come away with a kill, or at least his teammate cleans it up. And oh no, two of them drop, and that's just one of those moments you can't have happen. You're in a 4v2, and now the bomb is going down. This is a little bit scary right here for the side of Above All.
Oh, they get him. They get him. What are you going to do if you're the side of Hyper? Found some timing on the rewrap. This is going to be huge. Information, good gun patience. Maru taking his time on the bomb. The teammates are here. Hyper, I don't know if we saw Blissey to the right. I don't know if we saw him. They haven't defused yet, though. They did it. Hyper is snuck in. But hey, big boy Maru coming up for his team. Above All, stay alive. And I think, by the way, by the way the bombs have been planted, I think they're going to have to try and find something on the offense if you're the side of Above All in round 11.
It is 7 first bloods to 3 right now. So you have been playing at a deficit this entire search, this entire series. And I thought for a moment, Hyper, when he saw that player on the back steps here, Maru, kind of just shouldering, I thought he was going to go out there, challenge him, and then just work his way up on the stairs. He had time, but I think he was worried that somebody might have been on the bomb and he might have tried to find the free kill. But unfortunately, that's just hindsight 2020. You try to make a judgment call, does not go your way. This is life. But now you go into a round 11. Again, Above All, keeping it close, keeping it manageable, not allowing these rounds or this map to escape them quite yet. And now this is where, how far does your playbook go in this moment?
Oh, it's going to have to be deeper than you know what, because everybody has slowed their pace. Maru with a huge first blood, though. And I will say, if you're the side of Above All, you're going into this round 11 happy. You're on the offensive side. You've basically won only offense, except for maybe one round on the defense, which is why you have prolonged this to a round 11. You are sitting nice and pretty. They have everybody psyched out from the side of Apollo, though. 2 players shifted over towards B. Snapper's going to so huge, because now in a 4v3 situation, he's gonna have the first side of information. He's gonna know these players are here. So how fast can the side of Apollo react to save Snapper? Good job out of him to just back up and play his life. But I think this bomb should go down in the next 10 seconds. Above All is gonna have to win their gunfights post-plan situation, as things are about to get a little bit more tighter than anybody would like so.
Oh no! Oh no! You're not peeking the right angle and you lose the gunfight! And French can't believe it in this moment, and everything falls apart. You took too long, and this is the issue with what we have seen from some of these teams. They get the advantage, they slow down middle of the map. Eventually, they get over to the bomb site, but it took too long. And I want to point out how big of a play it was, I believe, from number 5. It was Verb. He immediately, when their teammate lost, or they went down that 3v4, he already cut up through P4. He got shot, but he already knew that information. Nobody was pushing the B bomb site. So they had all that ammo to go and say, hey, they're pushing this A bomb site with only 35, 40 seconds left. Let's just rotate over there, try to play for position. And you get taken out by the tip of your foot, and now you go down by 2 maps. This is going to be a difficult deficit, I think, for the side of Above All to come through.
Yeah, especially going into a respawn. But I love how you pointed out, I think it was Verb, right? Number 5, who hit that flank nice and early. It also prolonged, or it kind of delayed that last player. I think it was Maru, number 64. He basically sat so deep into his spawn. Another player also was lurking around hedges. That's why they got caught. And again, it's just a good job out of the side of Apollo. They said, hey, let's take this 3-man chow. We know at least one is in the back. So it's a 3v3 on this A site. We know our gunnies are better, and it just proved. It proved to be so.
And just their teamwork overall, you can tell they were working in unison. Whoever was their play caller, we talk about this all the time in search. Who is your IGL to say, hey, let's keep it calm. Let's just play for this information. If this happens, we are going here. And you can tell everybody was on the same page. There was no dysfunctionality with that final play call, going over and putting 2 players right over behind that forklift. They had the nade then, and of course, I just feel like this happens way too much when it comes to somebody planting the bomb. They just don't have their animated characters like body awareness. I just
Yeah.
see it all the time and it shocks me. It's just like, why do you not just completely go behind that bomb? And then maybe he was trying to catch out somebody who was maybe coming in through the middle of the map. But again, it just kind of feels like there's too many small mistakes later in these series that you're going to look back at and be like, oh my goodness, if I was literally a centimeter, an inch over, he gets that bomb plan off. You might not have been able to get away, but at least it puts your other players in a decent position to at least try to hold that bomb defuse.
Well, I mean, I can see the thought process because they're taking it a bit slow and they're
Mhm.
like creeping up there. So he wants to plant the bomb for everybody that's like deep parking garage and deep P3. The thing is, like, if you're gonna have your, I guess it is awareness as well because maybe he didn't know his legs were sticking out that far. But I would have loved to see that second player that was pushing that bomb site get up towards those pillars, get deep into P2 and eliminate
Mhm.
that option for players to get into that forklift area. Because if an AR gets there, that's like heady central. Everybody's going to be winning that gunfight if you get on it. So again, I think the key was like taking space and take you need to hit areas where you need to secure them to get the bomb down if you're the side of a above all. It is going to be interesting to see how they go into map 3. It is vault control, which me and by watching a lot of Unreal, it is Blender Central.
Yeah, the blender, it can definitely be put up in a lot of these moments. And again, you are needing to have just a hot start. We haven't seen it quite yet. We know that Above All can do it. We've seen these extended series from them, but maybe this is where everything kind of stops. You go into the losers bracket, but you can't be thinking about that. Somebody's got to say, hey, let's turn it around. Let's get the mental back under it. Hit that regain button. We hear that phrase a lot, but vault is going to be something you have to lock it down and just find those openings and work as a team, like you said, but you got to be quick. It kind of feels like there's just a tad bit more of a delay because of how good some of the players are from Apollo. It feels like there's a tad bit of hesitation, and that hesitation has meant death or a round loss for Above All.
Yeah, and you talk about trying to re-energize the team, trying to come off to a hot start. We've said his name before. It's gonna be Mystic from the side of Above All. He's that energizer. He's the one that really gets the team going. Now Blissey, which is funny enough, these are the two subs for this team. He's the calm, but he's also the revival. If the team gets a little bit too quiet, he's the one that's like dead out of random. So it is gonna be it is funny to see how those two subs are kind of polar opposites at times, but they do work in tandem. And again, you got Maro, the IGL French, the pick it upper, as I like to say. He's always picking up the lanes when it's needed most. But it's just Apollo has shown so much. You look at Hyper, he's the IGL for that team. He's at the right spot at the right times. Verb, knowledgeable snapper, has the gunny. We saw it in a 1v2. Drafts, he's the one that's slaying out. There's so much to deal with if you're above all from the side of Apollo. They're kind of like never mind, that would not flow. That kind of stunted my thought process. Yeah, Graph, take it away.
Yeah, I think just kind of coming on in and like you're saying, Blissey kind of being that energizer. He's the man who works on train cars as his day job, so he's got to essentially be that locomotive and start pushing everybody through and saying, "Hey, let's get through this. We got plenty of time. Let's get it to that hacienda hard point, and then let's take it. Let's surprise them, get them into that map 5 search and destroy." But Apollo, they've been so dominant throughout this entire league, and I know they are number 2 spot for a reason, and I expect them to potentially punch their ticket here to go up against the Unreal Nightmare Academy squad, which, by the way, I think has
Oh,
surprised a lot of people. I
oh yeah.
know that they finished as the number 1 seed, but I don't think
Yeah, we're
anybody
ready.
officially kind of had them in their own power rankings as that number 1 because they're just such a young squad, right? But Apollo, they've been together, they have experience, they have that player, like you said, in Verb, that old head on the team that essentially brings all the knowledge and really lifts everybody up. But it looks like while we're still kind of waiting on everybody to load on in to this map 3 vault control, don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to map 3 of the winners semifinals. Above all, the number 27 looking to take down the Titan that is Apollo Esports, and already it is the side of Apollo just laying down the law. Verb 2-0. That is a 4-team spree. This is already a hot start for the players of Apollo.
Yeah, I'm a little confused because I think the names are flipped. I'm not sure, but that is A-okay. There we go. We got them switched nice and early. You ain't got to worry about it, people, ladies at home. But, you know, hey, good job out of Verb. Getting the map, setting the tone for their team nice and early. Look at this. They already have 3 ticks at A.
Wow.
With those 3 kills from the side of Apollo, they are vrooming on to B. They have a 5-life lead. Look at this. Verb splitting the spawns. I love this. He's having them go all the way to P4. French was kind of the lifeline, and now Apollo's kind of just fiddling with their food, my friend. They are one-man stack. Everybody is up in their spawn.
I mean, it's 45 seconds into the game, and look, you've already dwindled them down to half their lives, even a little bit less. I mean, you don't even have to do anything. When Snapper season 6-1, 4 in a row, 5. Is he going to make it 6? He's cooking the nade. He's looking like the gaming chef out there. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the kill, but his teammates, they get the capture. And I mean, Corpse, that was maybe one of the easiest, breeziest rounds you will ever see.
Yeah, it was one of the faster ones too, just because of how consistent they kept a man on that. A lot of the times when teams, you know, like to get a little kill hungry, they let that time dwindle, and then it gets a little scary. But good job out of them for at least staying rooted. They're like, hey, we're just gonna have one on time. Everybody go out slay. And in the words of Verb, he said, "Get what did he say? He said, get ready to be slammed." Because honestly, they are bringing it. Their hammers are coming down full swing on the side of Above All, and they are just like a nail in wood. They are just taking it hit after hit, man. They do not have an answer for the side of these slayers from Apollo.
Yeah, driving themselves deep into the hearts of Above All. And currently, I mean, you just don't have an answer. You just can't keep up with the slay power. the communication, everything is there, and the patience. I think that's kind of the crazy thing. You're working so fast, but yet you are still patient in those moments. And Blissey right there, a little bit better moment and a little bit better trigger discipline, as he knew that player was still trying to cause a few issues, but he's getting shot in the back left and right, and somehow Verb comes away with one, even though mistakes were made with the frag. Still, it just feels like Apollo always has a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, but unfortunately with that team kill, that's going to be 3 dead on the side of Apollo. So, you know, there is some signs of life here. Tick and a half already done at A for the side of Above All. It has allowed them to get on, but look at this. They just collapse. Snapper finding 3. And again, like the turtle brings his chompers down. He's off to the races. And again, I pointed it out, vault control. Look at this. It is spawn trap mentality. It is spawn trap city. Verb with 2 of his own. Everybody's spawning way out from the side of Above. They are down. They somehow have kept it to a 5-life lead. What has felt like pretty much -10 for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's still only that -5. You still have a chance to win this, even though you had him in a spawn trap for a moment. You get a few more kills, and guess what? Above all, they might start taking their chances here. They're going to start getting the stack up in drafts. Oh, unfortunately, not red in that moment, but he will get taken down. And again, you're somehow keeping this man's little snapper season once again is just somehow coming away with some of the most ludicrous kills as he is bringing down. He is not the Jaws of life, my friend. He is the Jaws of death, as he is currently just reminiscing around this map and having every single which way, shape, or form with the side of Above All.
Yeah, and they think of him as the girl of the group right now. He is the man, the muscle behind this powerhouse. And honestly, it's been a shocker. Above All have snuck through time and time, though. They've gotten a tick at B, which is huge. They have a couple kills here, though. French trying to put in the work, trying to delay the inevitable. What's crucial is number 4. He's sat on the minimap. Well, we don't really have to go to him. He's now going to make his move, though, because that's 2 dead from the side of Above All. A team kill does happen. I do want to say this is great. He's been lurking here. Maru picks him up, though. Look at this. They have a 2-man stack. It's now down to 1, though, because of the cars on this point make it so hard to make it happen. You got to get a trophy on there. And now, the calm before the storm. It's an 8v3 craft. Lives have dwindled. You got to go perfect.
The Call of Duty gods just not favoring the side of Above, because that second car explosion, he couldn't believe it. Hyper finds the kill onto Blissey. In 8v2, you'd have to pull off something special here, or at least get a quick 2-stack on after you find a few more kills. French, the 1v7, unfortunately, I just don't think he's going to have what it takes here to pull off a 1v7. We've seen a lot of incredible plays, and oh no, you can see it.
No.
Draft. Oh, he comes in and they are just, oh no. You don't like to see this.
Party
anybody,
like you know what?
Oh, anybody watching with small children, you don't want to see what was that, but my goodness, Apollo, they're just having fun out there.
You can't blame them. You can't. Like, everybody knows when there's an opportunity, you take it. So, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Humiliating if you're the side of Above All, especially I don't know who that last player was because I got dementia, so that's cool. Other than that, they're what 2-0. They're on their way to taking this in this round, and based off their attacking round, they can do that easily in the blink of an eye. The way these guys just carve out map presence with the way they win their gunfights, it's huge. So if you're the side of Above All, last man or last stand, you got to go huge. French starting things off with a kill. Unfortunately, gets answered with 2 of the own by a side of Apollo.
I mean, I didn't even realize what kind of the stat line were, but Blissey's 3 and 15, Mystic's 3 and 13. Is that accurate? Because I don't know if it is. I mean, I would love to see. Yeah, 3 and 15 and 4 and 13. I mean, you're playing a 2v4 at this moment, and these are the players that you are relying on. French is trying to be the restoration specialist like he is. He's trying to rebuild this team in the middle of this series, but it just has not been going his way. And he's actually having himself a phenomenal map. I mean, 18 and 10. He just needs a little bit of help from his friends.
Yeah, and honestly, I know we haven't done it, and I know it's late, last round, maybe for the series. I want to go to a listen-in from the side of Apollo.
Pumps.
I have line. One's deep statue.
Let's see on our side hallway.
He's shot me.
Spawn the bottom ammo.
He's a little weak. Phillies.
Dead.
One could be out left. One could be out left.
One's in point. Nice.
I'm just playing my life. I'm holding time.
2v1. 2v1.
Our hallway right now, Maru. He's getting out.
Dead.
Nice.
Let me get your left here.
Done.
Just
He's
right
gonna be
behind.
on the stage,
Yeah, I'm gonna low play B. You guys all play
I'm here with you,
around.
love verb. I'm here with you, love verb. I'll send it out.
Light.
Hey, nothing,
He's going
hang on,
cat French.
Nice,
Dead.
nice.
Yo, top
we
bar,
can
yo.
get through. We can get through.
Yo, top bar and outer palms.
I got
I'm gonna
through.
get through full.
Yeah, you guys all place it out. I'm gonna look. I'm
Bottom
gonna
art, Mystics, and Maru is top art. Play your life.
Mention the back beat. Mention the back beat.
Wanna run through our side?
One on
Fuck
B.
me. Yeah, he's push up our guns. Just everybody push through.
Two on B.
Top art French, bro. Fuck.
Down
Oh,
me.
let's push through our guns.
Maru dead. I'm gonna chow me vault, most likely.
Somebody try to. I'm gonna go do
I'm
love.
bottom with you. I'm bottom with you.
Oh, Blissy's our side, bro. Our side.
Alright,
truck.
we're
He's on the Jeep. He's on the Jeep.
I'm trying to get the left.
My bad. I thought you were coming with me.
One saw me.
Okay, and Graph, what did you like from the side of the listening?
I really enjoyed what Snapper was calling out. You could tell this man knew exactly what was going on in between the map, and you can tell Hyper just kind of being that slaying presence. Didn't need to do a whole lot. The comms weren't necessarily bad by any means, but you could tell Snapper was the guy leading the troops. He is the general of this squad, and I mean, he definitely showed it in this moment. Currently, it's a 3v7, and they need him now more than ever, and now it's a 3v6, so you can never count this team out in the dying seconds. Snapper might have just made the play.
Oh my days, it was in the blink of an eye. It was a 3v10 for the side of above, and just like that, it was snuffed out. It's now 2v2! Verb going huge. My friends, the Slayers are out to play. The gods have stepped into this map 3 with a foothold on it. Now in a 1v2, Verb trying to stay alive. Great job out of the side of above all to at least play the buddy system there.
Oh my goodness, you come out and you are huffing, you are puffing because you barely come away with the round and you are up 7-3. So you need to be able to claw moments like that back. Again, go back to the listening though. You kind of heard it was a little bit not necessarily silent in the comms. You didn't hear the small talk. We hype on that. We harp on it all the time. Is being able to make the little things work. And you didn't really kind of hear it from the side of Apollo, even though Snapper is finding these kills. You kind of hope you could tune that up just a tad bit from the esports side.
Yeah, and I think it's just because of their lead. You know, they're kind of a little bit more laid back than usual. I was gonna say for a team that's in the lead, the lead that they have for a team to have it, you know, they're still calming like a normal team. They're still calming like they're in a dogfight. So it's good to see that at least they haven't, you know, really let up on the gas all too much. They're still putting the pressure. They want to close it out early. It is going to be crucial because you're still alive for the side of above all. You know, somehow, some way you make it out of there. It's just there's a lot to work on, and if you're looking at the side of the kill feed, Mystic and Blissey have awoken up. That's a nice 4 dead. And here you go. The trains are moving. They're chugging. What can you find if you're Mystic? You've infiltrated the back line. This is gonna be huge. He has given up. He's given up so many ADSs at the wrong time. He does find a kill though. This is crucial. He needs to stay alive for his team to make something out of this round.
Yeah, you could tell he is just kind of tweaking in one of these moments.
Oh,
You just cannot sit still, but you got to give credit to the side of all because they kind of did this on their first attacking round because they ended up getting that A site and then they slowly worked B. Even though they didn't have the lives in that moment, they still made it interesting. And now you do have a 2-life advantage and now you're able to put the pressure on and you have that information of where Drast was playing. You come out with the kill, but unfortunately, who is there to find it? It's going to be Hyper, who is on 3 in a row, not able to get that first tick of progression, and now you're trying to take a little bit of space on the map, and now you go down. Do you know this player is still sitting here, and the comms don't come through, but now you're in a 3v1. Verb, again, causing issues. This guy just makes the big brain plays, and then he finds the routes, finds the kills, and he's almost double positive.
Yeah, and they didn't even like sniff him out. That player was just playing his life on point, which I don't mind. You know, have your players try and get up to reinforce you, but maybe you gotta find Verb out because he's just peeking his head out like Groundhog Day, in and out. He's like peekaboo here and there. I know this is gonna be a little bit quick, and because of lives are gonna be a little bit shorter than usual, I do want to go to a listening with the side of above all, since this could be the last round for them.
Top art, line and top art.
I'm watching one line. Lions one shot. Lions one shot. Lions one shot. Drafts. You're looking for drafts.
Heard.
Drafts.
Yep.
Good shit.
One more. There's
I got 10, 12. You guys slow down. Drop their lives. That's 3.
Okay,
Nice.
we have to get on, we have to get on,
We have to get on.
I'm looking for him.
I'm going vault. I'm going vault.
Yep.
You got me behind me, P3.
P2 so weak. Never.
Yeah.
Nice. Alright, look for him.
What else
Look for him. Look. That's all front. That's all.
Lion stairs.
Front time. Oh my
I'm on
god.
line.
Damn, there's 3.
Nice.
Guys, yeah, we gotta keep. I'm watching art. You're
Okay.
under art.
Get on.
Yeah,
Let's
both.
go. He's bottom art.
Nice. Good
Let's
shit.
Let's go, baby.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Come on, let's go.
Ass, bro.
Yo, way to bring that shit back.
Dog this, bro. Holy
Let's go.
cow.
baby.
Come on.
And you hear the passion in the comms there, Corpse, as they come away with the round win. And again, from the depths, they just make these scrappy series happen. And you can hear these guys are saying, hey, they are dog. We are better than them. Now you go into a round 5. I mean, that might be some words that you're going to look back on and be like, hey, you hope you win this map. But, I mean, you claw back down 0-2. And this has been what Above All has done all series, all playoffs. They fight from the bottom, and then they get themselves into a close chance to win it. It's just a matter of that closing power.
Yeah, and honestly, that's, again, we've seen it every map. I will say, going back with the choice of words, I don't want to say delusional, but hey, false hope, any hope. That's all you need if you're an underdog team. Those 4 letters, HOPE, are gonna define you and instill something. But right now, off the rip on this attack, 2 ticks at A for the side of Apollo. They are working this quickly, and again, look at number 3, so deep in the other team's spawn. He hasn't made his presence known yet because he's still waiting for his other players to work this B site. So it is gonna be huge. Good job out of the side for French to take him down. 3 dead. Great job to win your gunfights, and now you're gonna have to work out of your spawn.
And oh, this is a massive double kill. That's Maru coming in and finding a few, and now it's up to Drafts to maybe hunt these players down, but they had the information of where he was, and now Hyper's the only one who could potentially make a play. You had all that life advantage. You were up 28-22, and now you are sitting down 18-21. This has been a massive 11, 12 kill swing, and this is huge for the moments right now of Above All. If they keep winning these gunfights, I mean, they could take this map.
Yeah, and but that's also crucial because Hyper snuck through. 2 players from the side of Apollo were able to work something. This has allowed them to get to the front side here, though. Morrow needs to stay alive. He's the IGL. He's also the one that, like, you know, they've coined a phrase for him. They're like, hey, what are we doing, boys? And honestly, I'm pretty sure he's yelling at his team right now. They've gotten something going, but a tick has happened. 3 dead from the side of Above All. This is crucial, though. They have a 2-man stack. French trying to work the spawn. You need to go. And in the flip of the script, it has been a catastrophe from the side of Above All. They're working the spawn. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm worked up because, you know, they almost had it, man.
Well, and right there, I was kind of looking at Maru. I'm not sure what he was thinking with that nade, but it fell drastically short to the point. Yeah, he blows up the car, but he needed that one to go right back to kind of that vault entryway to potentially even do some damage, and it just kind of sputtered out. I'm not sure if it maybe hit a rock or an angle. You look at the stat line across the board, almost 4,600 damage from Verb. That is what he's been doing, and I mean, Hyper, only 2,000 damage, so not even having a great game, but you love to see that it's all about the teamwork, and guess what? In the end, this has kind of been the case for Apollo all season. They clutch up when it matters most, and guess what? Just add another 3-0 to the repertoire.
Yeah, and it just done, 9 to 5, get in, get out. They're in the winners finals, 1 step closer to champs. You want to do an interview?
I mean, I would love to get on in an interview. I'm not sure if production or Trig, if you want to pull in, I would love to talk to Verb. I would love to talk to a fellow old head here. So, and it's been honestly an incredible series. The map one, of course, 250, 174. You go to a 6-5, round 11 in the red card search, and then you go all the way to a round 5 in the control. So you're just kind of looking at some of these minuscule moments. Again, if you are the side of above all, and you know you can go toe to toe with this team, it's just a matter of being able to clean it up and just come away and find that one extra kill.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna do well in losers because again, time and time, how scrappy they make things. They're seen as the underdogs every matchup. It's just you know, you got to get off the block faster. You got to find some motivation map one because that was kind of they just didn't find anything. S&D, they were slow to start out. They lost the first 2 rounds. They did a good job of forcing a round 11, but again, tiny mistakes lead to a big downfall. As I think you want me to go get him? I can go be the messenger real quick.
I think we're kind of either way, we'll try to
Yeah.
get Verb in here in just a moment. But again, you kind of look back on this series. You started off hot. If you were above all, you had you played on that P well or that P1
Oh,
incredibly well. You're doing a phenomenal job, and you just weren't able to come away with the rest of the map. You weren't able to get those P4s. But it sounds like we already have Verb coming on in for the post game interview.
Oh, that was
Verb,
fast.
were you surprised about this series at all, or was this just another series for you guys?
Honestly, like for like they had some great moments out there. Like we went down to the wire in the S&D. We were up 2-0 in the control and they brought it back. Like they definitely gave us, a decent fight.
Hey, you love to see that, and I know Corpse and I were kind of talking about this. Is you had every single series go be a 3-0 in the playoffs, and then you only had a few map losses in the regular season, and so we kind of wanted to see, do you guys have the ice? And you definitely answered the call when you got into that round 11. You got into the round 5. You clearly cleaned everything up. And what were kind of the comms like in that round 11? And you were, down in numbers. You were in that 3v4. Who was really kind of the guy that made the play for you and was given the call outs?
Honestly, it was I would say it was a coordinated effort. Like even though Hyper got blooded, he gave us that info, that they were stacked towards B, and then I rotated back to help drafts.
Yeah.
Right, we didn't see anything, and then I almost pushed through. I didn't see Maro sitting top. We got the info that we needed. That hey, like they're not coming B at all. They're going back to A, and then we just retook from our side, and then we caught them with their pants down.
I mean, just again, one of those plays, and I kind of called it. I mean, yes, Hyper gave you that information. I thought you made that heads up play. You took all that space over towards that P4 area going in through stadium. And if Maru maybe caught you out, I think that round
Oh yeah,
goes another
round
way.
that round goes a
I'm
different
not
way.
sure. I thought he had a freebie because he was
Honestly,
looking that
like, I was
angle.
I was so absolute. Like one more bullet in that round. That round goes a different way entirely.
Hey,
yeah,
we
Verb's
love to see it. But Corpse, what do you got for Verb here? I mean, what do you got for the old head, as you were saying?
yeah. Is it true? Is it true you're old? I mean, I know you're.
Yeah, buddy, I'm pushing 27 in March, so I got it's retirement age is coming up, buddy. This might be the big
Yeah.
shebang.
All or nothing. I mean, what's it looking like? You're moving on to winners finals. Who do they play, Graph?
They play Unreal Nightmare Academy. Have
Oh,
you guys done any research on that squad, or are you just kind
Wait,
of looking into them
is that
now?
the team with poison on it?
That is.
yes.
That's a friend I know him from last year. Yeah, if he's on that team, then I know those guys are gonna be a great fight for us.
Yeah, I mean, you still going in with the confidence of hey, get slammed.
Oh, dude, I mean, like that's I'm gonna say that to everybody. Get slammed, idiot. I mean,
Ah,
they brought the control back 2-0, and then you know what happened? They had us in the spawn. They had us in the spawn trap. They had everything go right for them, and then you know what happens? They get slammed, idiots.
I I will say was what was something that happened in that round 5 because you pointed it out right there. You just said that they had you in a spawn trap. Did well? Who made a big play? What was the calm? What was the call to kind of get on to B and carve something?
Like anytime you're like any respawn, I think it's like a kind of a coordinated effort. Just a matter of one person being able to recognize the opportunities in front of them. Like we saw that they were trying to put us in the spawn trap from the ammo side, so we were just trying to make those guys useless and get out through mid, get out through the left. We had a couple teammates get out. We ended up cutting into the point, and then French was in the back of like the top, but like he wasn't able to do anything because at that point we got 2 kills on the point. We started stacking it. The tick was just going too fast, and they're just too slow, too weak.
And just kind of reading that map, that's what you expect, right? You guys were able to kind of calculate, hey, they're trying to put us in the spawn trap from that ammo side. Let's go to where they're not, and then let's just use our numbers in that 4v2, and that's exactly what you did. And like you said, I think there was a little bit of a panic mode set in from the other team, but you guys didn't. Every single time you ended up coming away with kills. It was a well-coordinated effort, and I like how you said that, especially in the round 11. It's the teamwork. You guys were common with each other. Nobody felt like they had to do anything special. It was just working as a team and utilizing what you had in your pockets. I saw you guys throwing incredible nades, incredible stuns, and that also makes a difference. Just giving yourself an edge in any sort of gunfight.
Yeah, just a matter of using everything you have at your disposal. If you can find an opportunity to get some value, use some utility, you just gotta let it go. Every life.
All right, Verb. Before you go,
hmm
I didn't know something. What is your favorite verb?
Honestly, favorite verb, shoot, because I love shooting my gun. All I do is shoot my gun for these boys. They're always picking up the cuts. They're telling me where I need to go, and I'm just pushing, and I'm just holding on iron, and I'm just shooting my gun straight. Shout out to my teammates. I have a message from Hyper to Millie saying we're coming.
Oh,
So I think we're looking for an expected matchup. Hopefully, within the tournament bracket here.
Oh, okay. So you got. I think we kind of got the comms. I think, well, yeah, Millie's out. I don't think because that's Unreal Nightmare. So I think their challenger squad got eliminated against SGP.
yeah.
We actually casted that series.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm being fed false info. Good teammate.
Well, you know what? Yep, Hyper, you know what? Don't talk to the old head anymore. You're the one with the wisdom here, Verb. And, when you decide to put up the sticks for good, you and I, we can get a duo cast together and, reminisce about the old days of Call of Duty.
Honestly, I would love that. I would love that. That sounds like a good time, man.
Hey, well, congratulations on the win. You guys are that one step closer to that. I believe it's a $1,600 first place prize pool out of $2,500, and you got to go through Unreal Nightmare Academy. And if I don't talk to you again, Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year, man. I hope you guys have a great holidays, and shout out to XP Leagues for hosting this. Supporting you guys getting us casted and everything really means a lot.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. And like Graf said, you go on, get out of here, enjoy the win, celebrate with the guys. Maybe drink a couple. Who knows? Watch the ball drop, kiss a girl. Let the night go wherever it goes.
Man.
But okay.
You're good. You're good. No worries, brother. All right, you guys have a good night, okay?
Yeah, you too, Verb.
Thank you.
All right,
Hey,
Graf.
Hey, we got that list. We were glad we ended up being able to talk to Verb. Potentially, like you said, it might be his final season, so maybe getting one last shebang here and trying to come out on top. I know it would mean the world to him and the world to the rest of the squad. So I mean, congratulations to Apollo Esports. They get it done in another 3-0. Above all, again, this is a team that's not out quite yet. They go down to the losers rounds. I believe it's in losers round 6 or 7. I mean, it's deep into the playoffs here, and we're just gonna have to kind of see how they end up pulling some of this out. And I do expect them to maybe advance, a few more rounds, and potentially, we might see a rematch in the future.
Yeah, but I think they have to face how do you say it? Ed Toopsid? I think they have to face
Toopsid,
them
yeah.
again in
Ooh.
losers semis. So that's gonna be a fun matchup if I said it. It might also be 144, so I could be wrong, which I probably am. Other than that, I mean, takeaways of tonight. I'm gonna kind of reiterate. You got to get off the block faster if you're the side of above all. It was just a slow start. I mean, there's little shimmers here and there. We talk about
Mhm.
P1 on protocol. They held it really well both times around. I mean, the third time got a little rocky. I think if it went to a third time. But S&D, they do well on the offensive side of things when it matters to clutch up. They force around 11 control. They force around 5. It's the starting and the ending that they need to work on. The middle is there.
Yeah, and I think just kind of having these close series, you kind of knew you're gonna have to, come out with a great start, and they just simply weren't able to get it done on that protocol. But again, this is what Apollo does. They've been a phenomenal team this entire season. You expect nothing less. They got in a 3-0 verb, everybody putting in the work and getting it done, advancing to the winners finals of face off against the number 3 seed in the side of Unreal Nightmare Academy. My name is Graph the Giraffes, here with Corpse_12. See ya next year.